Hello, my witchlets. It is getting windy outside because I think there's a rain front coming on through, which means I'm gonna be dead tomorrow pretty much. So I decided that we were gonna do this video earlier than I normally would because it's actually more of a Yule time tradition, which is mulling spices. But you can give these mulling spices as gifts and you can use them in wine, cider, soups, I don't know, whatever you want to use it in. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to get together a mix of dried spices. This mix has allspice berries, black peppercorn, cardamom, clove, cinnamon sticks, and tangerine peel, dried tangerine peel. I think that's everything that's in here. So it's a pretty good mix of stuff. And then you're going to want one whole nutmeg because you're going to use a grater and grate it over top of everything. So cheesecloth, you want to cut 9-inch circles, or in my case squares because it's hip to be square. And you're going to layer 3 of them, 3 pieces of it, to make one packet. So you're going to take about 2 tablespoons worth of, well, 2 to 4 tablespoons worth of your spice blend here. I'll just go with 2 for the moment. And then you are going to take your whole nutmeg and just run a few grates over that. And you're going to bundle this up like this. Don't inhale the nutmeg powder that goes into the air. I could probably add a little bit more in here. Yeah, let me do that. So my squares will require more like 3 or 4 tablespoons worth of spices. Actually, I'll probably just put all of this in here because I'm just showing you how to do this. So you're gonna put your spices in here. I'm gonna grate a little bit more nutmeg. That's good. And then now we're gonna bind this up into a nice little parcel like so. And you're gonna take, this is cotton yarn. You're going to take cotton or hemp or bamboo, some kind of a natural fiber yarn that you don't mind getting wet with stuff. And you're going to wrap this around into, or around your bundle neck here and tie it off. And I'm going to tie it in a knot because I don't want it to come undone. Now, this is your mulling packet. If you're making it for a gift, you are going to take a 1 cup mason jar and not have as much in here as I do. And you're going to stuff your mason jar with the mulling spice packets. You should be able to fit at least 3 up to about 6, depending on how full you fill them, into a mason jar. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your jar lid, you're going to measure out some paper that is the size of your interior lid, and you can write on it that it's mulling spices and, you know, say what's in it, who it's to, who it's from, all of that stuff, and then just seal it up. And that's your mulling spice present. And like I said, people can use it to make their own mulled wine, to make mulled apple cider, all of that fun stuff. The ingredients that you put into it's kind of really up to you. This one, I just happen to like this particular recipe. But you can put, I mean, I know that there are people who put dried apple in it as well. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that you can do. So don't feel like you're limited to just certain spices. Now I'm going to transition things a little bit. I don't normally do alcohol projects on this channel, but I'm making an exception because it is coming up on Thanksgiving and Yule and Christmas and such. So you may remember from back in the early days of this channel, I made something called powdered forte and powdered douce. Powdered douce is the sweet version of powdered forte. Powdered forte, of course, is, you know, much more savory. They are made with cloves, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and sugar. In my case, I use swerve. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a medieval wine, spiced wine called Hippocras. And Hippocras has been around since at least the 14th century, the 1300s. So, and there's a variety of ways to make it. There's really super complex recipes. There's the simple recipe that I'm going to do right now, and there's everything in between. But one of the key things about Hippocras is if you want it to be really, really good, you need to use a really good wine. This is not a really good wine. I mean, it's delicious, don't get me wrong, but it's like $2 a bottle, so it's not like high quality stuff. One recipe, I think it was from 1560, wanted you to use a Burgundy. So I don't know anything about wines. I just know that I like Cabernet Sauvignon. That's what this is. And that's what I'm going to transform into Hippocras. What you're going to do for this very simple version is you are going to take a teaspoon of your powdered douce and you're going to add it to 2 cups of your wine. That's not what I want. I want this. And you're going to take 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, depending on your sweetness factor. It'll be okay. I'm limited on how many tablespoon measurers I have, so you know I gotta double up. Okay, so that's 1. And that's 2, and I'm just thinking, dear Lord, this is gonna be sweet, because this Cabernet is actually kind of sweet. But hey, following instructions. And then, if you were a smart person, you would have something to stir this with, so I'm just gonna use this. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna stir it to get the sugar and the powdered douce to actually dissolve into the wine. Now you can do this on a stovetop, and Hippocras can be served warm. However, the idea is to mix all of your sugar and spices together and then let it sit for at least 2 hours for the flavors to marry and integrate with the wine. I am likely to try to filter this a bit because I don't like the powder stuff. It's a texture thing. And of course there's there's so many different ways of doing spiced wines. I mean, obviously there's the mulling spices that we had, that we just made. There's the Hypocras. There's also something called wassail, which you can make with apple cider, or you can make with red wine. And that involves a whole bunch of dried spices and dried fruits and all of that stuff. In fact, one moment. The wassail involves cinnamon sticks, whole allspice, whole cloves, a grating of nutmeg, several small apples, a couple of small mandarins or tangerines, a handful of kumquats, raisins, or fresh cranberries, and which is optional, or and some plain or apple brandy, which is also optional. And this is something that you simmer on the stove top, and you add the brandy to those who want it. So it is an apple cider based mulled drink that can be served warm or could be served cold. I've had it before. I personally like it warm. It's very tasty, and I remember that they didn't quite filter it all the way, but that's okay. Mouthful of cloves. At least it wasn't raisins. So that's actually the video. It's a very short video. It's been a week, so I don't remember if I said anything on Tuesday, but I had my dissertation defense this week, my oral defense, and I passed with flying colors, so I'm very excited. So I hope you like what you saw, and I hope that if you did, you will hit the thumbs up button. If you did not, however, it is okay to hit that thumbs down button. Just leave me a comment either way. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what's working, what isn't working. If you have questions about anything, just, let me know. Otherwise, make sure that you've hit the subscribe button and you've rung the notification bell so you get notified whenever my videos come out. And, maybe pop over to Patreon and show me some love over there on Patreon. It's patreon.com/KWOS. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.